Hey, this is Jaryd Krause, host of the Buying Online Businesses podcast. And in this episode, I'm speaking with Matt McWilliams, who is a super affiliate. He's worked with people like Michael Hyatt, Hal Elrod, Pat Flynn, and a bunch of other awesome brands. And in this episode, Matt and I specifically talk about how to find the best affiliate products and what they actually are for your audience, and how to outrank the brands you are an affiliate for, which is quite cool. And then we talk about why every business, especially content websites, so if you're a content website owner, make sure you listen to this, why every business should build an email list, and then how to create a successful affiliate launch, and much, much more. So this is such an incredible episode. You're going to love it. Before we get stuck into this episode, I wanted to tell you that this podcast is not the only way I can help you for free. I have my due diligence framework 2.0, which everybody's been raving about, which will help you with knowing what to look out for when you're buying a website business, including questions to ask the seller and everything you need to take the guesswork out of doing due diligence. So don't fly blindly. Get this resource at buyingonlinebusinesses.com/free resources. There's other awesome resources on that page that you can check out too. Let's get stuck in. Today's episode is brought to us by Niche Website Builders, which is a company a few of my clients are using and have used for content creation and link building services that are everything from start to finish. So from keyword research all the way to uploading your completed article for you. We've also had Bob members buy ready-made affiliate sites built by Niche Website Builders. So if you're looking to outrank your competitors' content and build better backlinks, Niche Website Builders and I have a special deal for you. Head to nichewebsite.builders/Bob to get 10% off any link building and content creation services. I'll put a link in the show notes for you, but again, that's www.nichewebsite.builders/Bob. Matt, how you doing? Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, good to be here, Jaryd. Thanks for having me, buddy.
So welcome. Like I said before we hit the record buttons, I went to reach out to you a while ago, and then I got busy, and then I was like, I've got to come back. Come back to Matt and get you on, because what you do in affiliate marketing is quite different to what a lot of people who listen to this podcast do. Is they'll buy a content site or they'll own a content website where they create content, and they could be best of product reviews for different things on Amazon or whatever it is, or they may be in a specific niche and they become an authority in that niche, and they'll use affiliate links on their posts. Now, what you do is quite different, right? Like you go away and use a proper strategy and launch an affiliate marketing sort of, I guess you could say, funnel or system to get people to see these great products and sell these great products in alliance with a great joint venture partner, right? So how does this work? Like, where did you even start out with this? Did you build an audience first? Do you need an audience first? And like, how did you start running these type of affiliate offers?
Yeah, I mean, we work with affiliates of all types. Just to be clear, I mean, we've worked with product review affiliates and comparison site affiliates, SEO sites, I mean, you name a type of site, I've probably worked with them. I think we tallied it up at this point. I've worked with over 300,000 affiliates.
Wow.
So in every conceivable niche, I mean, we've, to answer your question and tie that in, I mean, I've worked, I started my first affiliate program in 2005 out of desperation. We had a company that sold insurance leads, and we didn't have any money left, and we'd never even heard of affiliates. Like 2005, you got to remember, there might have been a couple of hundred companies on earth that had an affiliate program.
Yeah.
And most of those were in e-com.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing it in lead gen or, info products didn't really even exist. I mean, they were big. Info products back then actually meant you ordered something online and like you got it like 3 weeks later. I remember the first info product I bought in 2004 from a guy named Corey Rudell. I don't know if that name even rings a bell with you, but he's like, I think he passed away like 10 years ago in a car crash. And I remember I bought it. I forgot I bought it. It was so long. It was like 3.5 weeks later. And I get this plastic thing that had like CDs and DVDs in it. I'm like, you slid those in and sat down and watched it on the big screen. The big screen back then was like 30 inches. But like that's, I've been around for a while. And so we started that. I've worked in every conceivable niche since then, whether it be info products, retail products, high ticket, $5,000 plus programs down to book launches, $15 free plus shipping, $7.99 books. I've worked in commodities, like shoes, apparel, things where it's very commoditized. It's basically a race to the bottom in terms of cost. Everything. I've worked with affiliate programs that have a $2% commission on up to 50 and beyond. And so really what it comes down to is, we teach things like product reviews and how to do SEO. Our students, and we do our own product reviews and rank very well for those. We usually outrank the product creator for their own term. It's about 50-50. I'd say about 50% of them we actually outrank them.
That's really cool.
If we don't, I would say 45% of the time we're number 2. And occasionally we're like number 3 or 4, and it like, man, those frustrate. I'm like, what do we do wrong? We're terrible at this, but we do product reviews. We do things like resources pages where, it's more of a passive form of marketing. You're just listing tools on your page. We do comparisons, A versus B and, or A versus B versus D versus, Q, and we rank different products. We do all that stuff ourselves, but we also teach it. And we've got students that, they're killing it. They're killing it. Plus we work with companies on literally creating a whole marketing campaign and having, like big affiliate launches where, everything happens in about a 14 to 17 day window. And so it's kind of all over the place. Evergreen launches, high ticket, low ticket, info, digital, physical, you name it. We work in those niches.
How do you, and congrats to all of that. Like you've had a great journey. How do you, sell? A lot of people are trying to right now listen and wrap their head around, like, how do you do affiliate launches and affiliate products for all different niches and all different types of products? Is it that you build an authority, build a big audience, and then you have multiple websites? Like, how does this form together? How does this all band together? Because I know there's a lot of people like their ears pricked up listening going, all right, you can outrank some of the products themselves. They want to know about that. But first of all, I want to take us from this journey of how did you get to a point where you're selling to multiple different niches and multiple different products? Is it an audience, big audience that you need in one area through your authority, or is it that you need multiple sites, and how does that work?
For us, I can tell you they're all on the same, they're all at mattmcwilliams.com. I'm really good at SEO. There's a reason why I don't really teach it outside of teaching product reviews. I do not teach how to SEO for top chiropractor in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Like I think I could, I just don't have I have no passion for that. Literally no passion for that. My passion, I basically have 2 passions. Number 1, helping beginner online marketers get up and running, make some money, be able to go full time with their business, and product reviews can play a role in that. It might not be, you might only make $2,000, $3,000 a month from your product reviews, but you add that on top of having your own products. You add that on top of, speaking and writing books, and now you can have a $25,000 a month business. So that's number 1. Number 2, we help, 5 and 6 figure entrepreneurs scale to 7 figures. And so through starting an affiliate program. And so those are my passions. SEO is not, even though I'm really good at it. And to be quite honest, I don't really know fully how I got really good at SEO. I kind of figured out some stuff. They've been universal principles. I followed Matt Cutts and the Google stuff for years. And I kept finding that if you just do the basics right, I said before, sometimes we outrank them. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're ranked number 4. What's the difference between the one that ranks number 4 or 5, or even sometimes like 6 or 7 occasionally, and the one that ranks number 1 or 2? I don't know. I really don't. We're doing the same stuff. We're following the formula over and over and over again. And in fact, if I took 2 monitors and showed you the post for product A and the post for product B, you could look at them and go, wow, they really do follow the same formula. They're roughly the same length. The outline is the same. You use about the same number of images. The images are named the same. The keyword density, all these things that SEO people know, like the keyword density is about the same. The titles are both good to my eyeball. What what makes that post rank number 1 and that post rank number 7? I don't know.
Different DR rankings and, the authority of your site versus theirs.
So I'm not passionate about SEO. I'm passionate about helping beginner entrepreneurs, make their first couple $1,000s just to get going. To answer the question that you asked, though, it's like, okay, you're in this niche and this niche and this niche. The principles are the same. That's the thing is we don't teach, like, I don't focus on teaching, here's how you make money in e-com as an affiliate, because the principles are the same. You pick quality products that you believe in, that are proven to get the results. Like, what's the difference between a shovel? It's a physical product, clearly, that digs holes. What's the difference between a shovel, promoting a shovel, and promoting it, that costs what, $50 maybe, and promoting a $2,000 course that teaches how to set up a quiz funnel, Ryan Levesque. What's the difference? Nothing.
Yeah.
Do you want holes? Then here's a good shovel. Yeah. And it rates really well, and it doesn't give you calluses on your hands. And, when you, I don't know, it doesn't break, and it cuts through the ground even down to -5 degrees below zero. Right. Mm-hmm. Well, the quiz funnel masterclass helps you set up a quiz funnel, which can generate you tens of thousands of leads for your business. You focus on results. If you believe in the product, it's the same principles over and over again, repeatable across every single industry.
For people that are listening, I think what they should have, hopefully they've just taken note, is that for the same amount of energy, you could sell a $50 product or a $2,000 product and make so much more money through doing that. And I think that's a great strategy for somebody that's trying to get into this game, is like, you could focus on these smaller launches and these smaller deals, but you could put just as much effort into something that's a bit more high ticket. And help people with a bigger pain threshold or a bigger problem, I should say. Mm-hmm. That's a great little tip. So
yeah, actually, I will answer my own question. The only difference between a shovel and Quiz Funnel Masterclass is shovels are commoditized. You know, I mean, like, even if you go to the average, like, unless you're a landscape architect, you don't have a favorite shovel. In fact, unless you are a professional, name the brand of shovel you have. I don't know where, like, I have a couple in the garage. They're brown. I mean, I don't have no clue. I know what brand of tractor. I'm a plumber,
so I know a few different types of shovels.
Okay. Well, yeah, there you go. Like, I know what type of tractor we have because I see it all the time.
Yeah.
And it costs like $3,000, but if you took a class, would you be like, oh yeah, it was that $2,000 course I took on email marketing. I don't even remember what it was called. You would never say that. Like, I remember the name Corey Rudell's, Alex Mendoza. I bought Alex Mendoza. It was a teleseminar, something about teleseminar secrets or strategies. It was in 2006, I think, that I bought that. I still remember the name of the high ticket courses I bought back in 15 years ago. I don't have any clue. Name anything in my garage. I can't name 99% of the stuff out there except for the car, the tractor, and like, that random bottle of tick spray. It's off brand, by the way. Like, I don't know those things because they're commoditized. Yeah. So yeah, definitely try to stay away from commodity products because it's always a race to the bottom in terms of price, which as an affiliate, just from a practical standpoint, you might have a product that today is $50 and they pay you 10%. Well, the competition comes in and charges $45. So that $50 company has to undercut them. Well, that eats into their costs. So now they pay 8%. Well, now when it gets down to 35, they pay 6%. And so you're making a smaller percentage of a smaller number, which eventually means you're going to be making what you make on Amazon, which is 1%, 2%, 3%.
Yeah.
And Amazon's great because I'm not going down that whole rabbit hole, but it's great because they have everything. And it's great for them because everybody's using Amazon. And they know they can only pay you 2% because where else are you going to go to promote that thing of toilet paper? If you're a mommy blogger, where else are you going to, I know mommy bloggers hate that term, but where else are you going to go to promote that book? Where else do you buy books? I mean, like, I know Barnes and Noble and stuff like that, but most of us just want to link to Amazon. So if we make 2%, we're happy. And they know they can do that, but they keep racing to undercut Walmart, who's undercutting Target, who's undercutting so-and-so. And so the prices keep going down and so do the commissions.
So that's spot on. Like, you're in a zero sum game where there's always going to be a loser, and not everybody can win. But I guess and what you do through your launches is you're trying to play a game where everybody wins, and you're going out and finding these, I guess you could call them JVs or partnerships.
Yep.
So for those who are affiliates, like say right now, what, they're a lot of them are on Amazon, a lot of them are on ClickBank, a lot of them are on all these popular like JV
Zoo
and stuff like that. Yeah, affiliate programs, but they can actually earn more money and do a better service to their audience by going with a different product, direct to retailer, and setting up a partnership with them. How do you go about that? Like, how do you go about finding these affiliate relationships with brands, and then we'll tie that into how you launch the products and stuff like that. But yeah, how do you decide, like, all right, this is a problem that people need solved, I need to go and find this brand?
I mean, for me, it's instinctual at this point. I've been doing this long enough that I know what my audience needs. That's always my number one filter, is what's going to best serve my audience. If it's a $200 product, it's a $200 product. If it's a tool that costs $30 a month, it's, then that's what it is. Right. Some of those are great. Like we promote the heck out of services like ConvertKit. Every month we get, I don't know, $1,000, 500. It's probably like $500. It's not much, but it's every month, $500 a month, just like for promoting them twice a year.
Yeah.
And so it could be something like that. I don't look at that and go, well, they only pay, 20% of $20. I only make $4 a person. I don't look at that and go, I only make $4 a person. I'm like, well, first of all, it's a really easy sell. Second of all, every single person on my list, in my audience, needs an email service provider. Now, they might already have one and love it. They might even already be on ConvertKit. But there are 1,000 people a month roughly that join my list that don't have one, or they hate the one they're on. So yeah, I'll put, those two things. So that's an easy sell. And to give them the free trial up to, I think it's a free trial up to 1,000 people. Yeah. That's an easy sell for me, and it serves them. Well, eventually, let's just say of those 1,000, 100 people take me up on it. And of those 100, 40 of them eventually become a paying customer. And of those 40, 30 of them stay for a year. That's a year and a half process. But now 30 people every month, 18 months from now, are going to make me $120.
Yeah.
And then it compounds the next one. And that's why if you look at the numbers, I think we probably are close to 1,000 now. This time last year was only about 500. If you go back 2 years before we did it, we did a big promotion of them. I think we were earning like $50 a month from them, And so the cool thing is this time next year, if I do nothing other than what we're already doing, it'll probably be 2,500. If I continue to do nothing, it'll be 5,000 in 2 years. So number one, does it serve my audience? That's always the filter. If it's not going to serve my audience, we get approached probably, I would say we get approached by about 150 to 200 products a year. We say no to 120 to 100. We say no to probably 90% of them. They're just not, they're not good fits. Secondly, does it fit our calendar? We had a guy come, it's a great fit for our audience. When's your launch? He was like, 2 weeks from now. I'm like, dude, you got to give me more heads up than that. Like our calendar is filled through Q3 of this year. We're recording this in January. We're done. I think we're filled through like September, and even if what if it was only, we're only filled for 90 days, still you can't be like 2 weeks from now,
ridiculous.
So number two, does it fit my calendar? And then third, I do look at things like the commissions. I do look at things like, what are the earnings potential, conversion rates and things like that, because you can be a good fit for my audience and the calendar works, but it's a $500 product that you pay a 10% commission on. I just don't know that I want to do it to make $5,000.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I wouldn't say most, but there are a big majority of people that were in a similar boat as me when I first started buying websites to make money online. My goal was just to make money online, right?
Yeah.
And it was me first. And so a lot of people are in the
There's
headspace.
nothing wrong with that. Just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with that when you're starting out. Like it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right?
Yeah.
Like before we get to, like before we get to like even like sex and like deeper relationships and, things like serving our children and making the world a better place, we have to eat.
Yes, exactly.
We have to have a roof over our head and survive. And, like survival is always number one. Is dude, I've been there. Like when I was still living with my mom, sleeping on her pull-out couch, I was 22, 23 years old. The kind of couch where like the springs are coming up and you have to sleep in the shape of an S to avoid like the springs. You wake up every morning, you're like, oh gosh, I was working 16 hours a day, 8 days a week. Right. Yeah. I didn't care about self-actualization or serving the population. I just wanted to make $1,000 in a week. Not even me making $1,000. I wanted my business to bring in $1,000 so that I could pay my mom for the freezer full of frozen pizzas that she bought for me last week. Yeah. Because I was too freaking broke to even buy my own frozen pizzas, and she's working a full-time job. And it took about 3 months. And then finally I remember I wrote myself $1,000 check. Dude, I ate Taco Bell that night. It was so good. Like that's cool. We're in that, like, it's cool to be in that phase where I just want to get to the point where I'm making, some good money. And then eventually you kind of shift, it's like, okay. I do
because
I don't need any new toys.
Yeah, that's right. I like to think of it as the cup analogy, or just say you've got a bucket, right? And we're talking about food here. I've been in a very similar place to you, working stupid hours. If you've got a bucket, right, and you got food in that bucket, which could be money, it could be liquid, it could be whatever it is. If you got a bucket full of like an asset that you actually need, that's your food for the month. But if you're trying to be this person who's trying to help the rest of the world and come from a place of service and disregard your phase that you're in, which is the survival phase, and you go around and take that bucket and pour a little bit of food into everybody else's buckets, at the end of the day, you're going to be left with nothing. And over time, that compounding of that means that you're going to have no food, which means you go away, you're diminished, you're done for, and you can't help people anymore. So you need to have your bucket overflowing of food before you even think about, I'm going to go away and help other people. Then when your bucket's overflowing with food or whatever it is, you just pass it around, and it can't help but overflow, that it needs to spill into other people's buckets. So I think you're spot on with that. And
it's the evolution of an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
If you look at the evolution of an entrepreneur, it actually follows the evolution of the life cycle. Newsflash: infants are incredibly greedy. Infants only think about themselves. Yeah. They don't have the rational ability to like genuinely care for someone else above themselves. They're hungry. They cry. Right. That's their form of communication.
They're in survival mode.
And then even like a 5-year-old, they'll occasionally show those signs. Like our son shows signs, like he compliments his sister and he helps, but for the most part, he's in survival mode. And that's fine because he's 5. He has no ability to do it. Like if we just didn't put food in the house, he's not going to go out and forage. He's going to die. If we don't take him anywhere, he literally would just die without us. Yeah. And so that's fine. Now, eventually you reach the point where you're kind of self-sustaining, but you still, think about like somebody who's just out of college. Most people, they're just out of college and they kind of still need mom and dad's help a little bit. Like you got to get mom and dad's help, maybe your first couple months rent or something like that, most of the time. And so we eventually now we start thinking about others, and now we start thinking about the duality. Like I said, my number one thing is to serve my audience. My number 2 thing is, does the time work? But what was number 3? How much money am I going to make? There's still an element there. But even in that now, at the age of 41, and our business has been around for a while, even in that, part of that is, we need a certain level of money just to pay our team. Yes. And so if we do a promotion that only brings in $5,000, but my team spends 100 hours working on it, that's really bad math for us.
You move from self-survival and when you grow a business and a team to business survival. I think you're spot on.
I never had business debt. And now we don't anymore. But the only time I've ever gone into debt as a business was when we had a team and we couldn't make payroll, and we got a loan to make payroll. I didn't go into debt to build the website. I didn't go into debt to pay us. I didn't go into debt to, do anything. I went into payroll, or I went into debt because we couldn't make payroll, and we had to make payroll.
Yeah.
Like they came first. So it's totally weird. That would never happen in the first year of my business. Like in the first year, I didn't even have a team, I was a solopreneur.
Yeah. You're in self-survival mode still. So let's tie this back into what we're saying is, I think even what I said earlier is that instead of playing a zero-sum game, you can play a game where everybody wins, including the retailer, yourself, and your audience, by finding out what your audience actually needs first and foremost to get out of their survival mode or whatever their place is. And I think if you work that out, and the better the product is for their problem, wants, needs, fears, frustrations, and desires, doesn't matter the price range, I guess, is that if it's really needed and they've got a insatiable hunger to have that, then it's going to sell like hotcakes, and they're going to win. You're going to win. And I guess it's not trying to find that product that is going to make you the most amount of money, but solve the biggest problem they have, right?
Well, it's that, and also thinking, it's a numbers game. In the example of ConvertKit earlier, okay, so we only make $1,000 a month. Well, the first month, like I said, we didn't even make close to that. I could have promoted a $2,000 course and sold one of them and made $800, $798.80. I've sold a lot of $1,900. I'm an affiliate manager. I know what 40% of $1,997 is, and because 40% is pretty common commission in the info product world, I can make $800 like that, but I don't make anything the next month. Secondly, I'm probably, if I promote that $2,000 course, I'll sell 50 of them. It's pretty good math. It's typically what we'll sell. 50, a little bit more. We'll just say 50 just for this sake. And I'll make $40,000 like that, but I make nothing next month. But it was also really hard to sell those 50. We had to put in a lot of effort, like a whole marketing campaign, meetings, podcast episodes. For me to make $1,000 from ConvertKit, we've promoted it a few times, and we promote it on our resources page, and we promote it in some of our stuff, casually. And we sign up 5 new customers a month, 10 new customers a month here. Occasionally, like I said, we'll sign up, 100, but it's usually like 5 or 10 or 15 a month, pretty consistently. In 5 years, I've made significantly more with a fraction of the effort. And so you have to consider like all the variables. It might even be that if you promote $100 product versus a $2,000 product, you can do the math. You have to sell 20 times more to equal that. Odds are you aren't going to sell 20 times more. But if the marketing is significantly easier, there is a cost of your time and your team's time if you have a team and things like that. And so there's all kinds of factors involved. We have found a lot of times we'll promote 2 very similar things. This is one of the things we encourage. One's $497, one's $1997, and we sell roughly about 4 or 5 times more of the $497 product than the $1997 product. As far as what we make, it ends up being almost exactly the same. But 2 benefits that we get from promoting a lower price product. Number one, we have a much larger list of buyers. We know who bought, we know who buys through us as an affiliate. Well, we tag them in our system. I don't care what you bought. It could be my product or someone else's product. I know that you are willing to do the hardest thing that anybody could do, which is pull out the credit card or debit card, type in your digits, and press submit, right? I've now identified you as a buyer of a specific product. You move up our ladder, even if it was as, buying an affiliate product. You now become more valuable to our business. The second thing, so I've learned that about them, first of all. The second thing is I've learned more about them as an individual in terms of what their interests are. Whereas if they had never bought that, never bought the product, not only do I not know that they're even going to buy anything, but I'm not sure really what, okay, they bought this product and that means they're interested in this, and so I can really focus on, like you said, niching them down. So there's a lot of benefits if you can generate roughly the same amount of income, and that can happen. The other thing is in that factor in there is it could be on their end. It could be on the company's end. If the $500 product just converts better, they're just better at selling than the $2,000 product. They're better at converting leads into sales. Maybe the $2,000 product has a 30-day cookie, a 30-day window for getting credit, but the $500 company has a lifetime cookie. Maybe the $2,000 product, they only pay you on that product. They don't pay you on any of their upsells or downsells, but the $500 product pays you on all their upsells and downsells. So it might be one of those things where, let's go with this example, Jaryd. I sell 3 times as many of the $500 versus the $2,000. So 1,500 versus 2,000. If you're running with me, if you're always running with me on the math there, write it down if you don't. So I'm going to make 3/4 as much right now, but the $500 product pays a 20% commission on their $5,000 mastermind. That's $1,000. If 10% of those buyers pay, make me $1,000, that's an extra $100, per, yeah. 10%. That's, now we're getting up there, right? Okay. Well, they also pay on the downsells to their $97 a month membership. And so every month, a percentage of them, I'm bringing in $40, just boom, 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 bringing that in. And so on and so forth. Maybe they have a coaching program where they pay a flat, like our coaching program, for instance, it's about $25,000 to $30,000, depending upon the client. We just pay a flat $3,000 fee. And we're constantly I'll look sometimes and they referred somebody who literally all they bought was our $97 affiliate management training, right? And then 9 months later became a $25,000 client. They earned $3,040 from promoting a $97 product. Like that kind of, what if they had tried to promote our $2,000 course, but never sold them because they weren't ready at that time? So there's all these factors that you have to think about when you're like, okay, what am I going to promote just from a dollar standpoint?
Yeah. And so good to think about the contribution to that end result of hashing it out is knowing the niche. Now I want to talk about, because if you know the niche, you know how likely they are to purchase. Now I want to talk about what goes into an affiliate launch and what an affiliate launch is, what goes into it. Now I know a piece of that puzzle is working out who your particular buyers are for that particular niche, what they've purchased before, what their buying behavior is, and which we've already talked about. That's a piece of the puzzle. Mm-hmm. But what else goes into an affiliate launch? And what is an affiliate launch? How do you...
So are you talking about as an affiliate or as somebody who's running it, as the product?
As say somebody that owns a content website and they're doing, they're with, ClickBank or Amazon or, and they're making money through writing articles and stuff like that, but they've built an audience in their niche, right? They've become a bit of an authority in their niche. How do they go, all right, cool, I'm going to find a great product that these people need? Like what goes into doing a launch to either their email list or people on their site?
So if you're following along with who's launching and you find something that, again, it's going to serve your audience, going to make some decent money and the timing works. So number one, let's say you don't have an audience, if you're purely just creating content, which you should build an audience. Everybody knows, how many times have people said you still need to build an email list? Because newsflash, Google could take your rankings away tomorrow. They could take mine away. I'm prepared for that. Do we make a lot of money off of product reviews? Absolutely. It's only about 15% of our revenue though, so we're prepared. If that went away, we'll make it, we'll be fine. So number one, though, from a content perspective, you can still do product reviews on launches. About 2/3 of the product reviews that we do are reviews of courses and things like that. They're high ticket items. And they only launch maybe once, twice a year, but we're doing reviews of those. So all of our traffic to that review comes in a 3-week window. No, that's not true. 85 to 90% of traffic comes in a 3-week window. All of our money comes in about a 5 to 7 day period when the cart's open. So number one, you can still do product reviews and things like that. Secondly, with your actual audience, you want to follow the sequence we teach, which starts with thinking, again, what's the big problem that the product solves? So if it's a course, let's just say I'm going to look around my office here and try to find one. It's a course that teaches morning routines. Looking at Hal Elrod's book, the Miracle Morning. So that was a good friend of mine. And so let's just say it's a course that teaches morning routines, right? So what's the problem that we're solving? Well, people are waking up tired. They're waking up sluggish. They're waking up. They don't really know what they're going to do with their day. They're not productive enough. They're not focused. These are all sorts of things you would say, right? So we're going to promote that. And because you got some interest, in your audience with that subject.
Say your website's on sleep. How to become a better sleeper, or how to have a better morning, I guess. Morning. Yeah,
could just be your website could be about productivity in general. Yeah. Just be about productivity. For sure. So now I want to start talking about this topic a couple of weeks in advance. I want to warm my audience up, and so we teach. In fact, I've got it here. I did hang on, if this will go on video or not, but will this be on video at all? Yep. Okay, cool. So you guys got to watch the video, right? You got to go subscribe to Jaryd's YouTube channel and all that fun stuff. So I literally just did a Facebook Live about this. And so it's cyclical. It goes up and down. And, for those of you who can see this, just imagine there's a red part of it's like a roller coaster, right? Red going up is warming them up. Cool. You're going to cool down, warm up, cool down. And what that warm up phase is we're taking our audience from not thinking about morning routines in this example at all. It's not even on their radar, really. We're taking them and building up their consciousness about morning routines. So we'll write a post a couple weeks before about, how Oprah re-engineered her morning routine to make her more productive. And then a few days later, we'll maybe do a podcast episode or write a post about, 3 entrepreneurs share their morning routine. About a week before, maybe during this phase, we'll quote Hal Elrod's book a couple of times. That's planting a subconscious message in our audience's mind that, when they see the name Hal Elrod coming in their inbox, the day that he opens up registration, they're not going, who the heck is Hal Elrod? Is he like the guy from Lord of the Rings? What is this? And so we start planting those seeds. We can interview Hal if you got a big enough audience. Again, quote him. Start just talking about share your morning routine. And here's the thing: if you come out and share your thing and say, I learned from Hal, and don't even reference the fact that there's anything for sale, they're kind of going, well, I wonder if that Hal has anything for sale. 3 days later, guess what? He sure enough does have something for sale. Yeah. And it's through you. And it's like bada boom, bada bing, they're going to buy. And so we think about just these ways we start building up that subconscious awareness. We start building up thoughts of the topic. And
we call this seeding in sales.
Yes, seeding. Yeah. And for those of you who know the psychology behind it, the reticular activating system, we know the whole thing. It's like when you buy a blue truck, what do you suddenly see everywhere? You see blue trucks, right? I didn't know there were so many blue trucks. Well, the number of blue trucks did not go up in the past 48 hours. It's just because you have one. Yeah. And so we're activating that reticular activating, system to begin to be thinking about this subject so that when we send the email on opening day, it's not like out of left field.
Yeah, that's great. I love the, see, this is what I'm all about, is like creating a great funnel, creating a great email marketing sequence. And it's not even really marketing anything. It's just getting them aware of your product and getting them ready for this. And then it happens, right? I've done this in my e-com businesses, and I've done this in, multiple different types of business models, and it works very, very well. And I guess there's a particular window that I find if you go too long, you can lose people. If you go too short, you haven't really pulled enough people in. Have you found the same?
I mean, sure. If you go on too long, part of it is they'll begin to seek out other solutions than the one you want them to get. Like if you really start getting people thinking about morning routines for 8 weeks and don't ever try to sell them anything about morning routines, they're going to just start Googling courses that will teach me how to do So we've kind of found that 10 to 14 days, about 2 weeks is really the sweet spot. If the typical, so we found the typical product launch these days is about 16.2 days long. So we'll just call it 16. Let's call it 2 weeks. If you talk about it for about 2 weeks before, and then about a 2 week product launch, it's about a month. So you say, great, from January 3rd to January 29th, that's my morning routine theme. So you theme your content. Maybe if you've got a podcast, a YouTube channel, you write blogs, whatever it is, like, your social media posts, you're doing more about that topic. For me, what that looks like in that 2 week warm up phase, we have 2 podcast episodes, a Facebook Live. Those are our 3 pieces of content every week. So we got in a 2 week phase period, we'll have 6 pieces of content. In those 6 pieces of content, we'll also have a couple of other emails about stuff as well that aren't related to those. I'll probably do 2 dedicated pieces the week before that are like literally just about morning routines or sleep or, like really productivity, where maybe it's like my 7 top productivity hacks, and number 5 and 7 are all about morning routines. Like I'm really going to be heavy into the morning routine stuff. I'll probably do 1 or 2 other episodes or pieces of content. Maybe I'll interview Hal, and then maybe I'll do another one where I'm doing an episode about breaking false beliefs or something, right? And I just quote Hal. Literally, it's just I find a quote that he had and I quote him. The other 2 will probably have nothing to do with morning routines at all. So it's not like I'm all in during those 2 weeks because it can drag on a little bit. But again, I'm just starting to get them thinking about it. And then when his launch starts, and he starts with maybe his free workshop, it's a 3 video workshop or a 1 week workshop and a webinar, people are like, they see the thing and they go, man, I've been thinking a lot about morning routines. Well, of course you have. I've been emailing you about it. I've been thinking about that. I need to get a good morning routine. I'd love to go to Hal's workshop.
Yeah.
And we've just found that typically we can increase conversion rates, but anywhere to 50 to 100% just by warming up for even like a week. There are times where our calendar, we have a promo coming up. It ends this Sunday. So as we're recording this, it ends on the 10th. We have another promo that starts on the 14th. So we will literally have basically a 3-day warm up phase, and I know what we'll do. We'll do something on Monday and Wednesday to begin to get them to think about it. Even that 3-day warm up phase will probably increase our sales 40 to 60%.
Yeah, hugely. I found that I don't do this in affiliate marketing, but I found that in my own e-commerce businesses. Yes. And I love that we got to talk about this strategy because
it's been fun.
It's a tool and a strategy that people are in content marketing and content sites are going to be able to use that they probably haven't thought about before. They don't really think about building an email list. They don't really think about going down this route. And I think it's just another great money earner and another great strategy to help your audience and build an authority. And I just want to say, Matt, thanks so much for coming on. Where can I send people your way to find out more about how to do these affiliate launches and stuff like that?
Been my pleasure, by the way, Jaryd. Just go to mattmcwilliams.com/BOBP. mattmcwilliams.com/BOBP. Since we talked about it, here's what I'll do. I actually had a different resource in mind, but we just talked about warming up your audience, right? If you want to know the whole process and get kind of the step-by-step, I've got a free guide on how to warm up your audience, how to get them, basically how to get them. We talk about, Jaryd, in this, one of the things we talk about, I'll finish with this. We talk about this 0 to 10 continuum. And your goal is to get them from wherever they're at wherever they're at today to a 10. People at a 10 buy. Now, here's the good news. The deadline's worth 2 points. Now, this is all made up. I don't know what this is actually worth, but it's worth 2 points. So if you can get them to an 8 when there's a deadline, nothing moves people like a deadline. When you can get them to an 8 when there's a deadline, boom, they skip ahead to 10. And our goal is just to move them from a 0 or a 1 or a 2, which is what they're at the day they opt in, to a 10, right? We got to move them there. So this whole warm up phase and at the start of the promotion phase is where we move them, get them up to a 4, get them up to a 5. Just like, this morning when I was heating up my water for my coffee, I got to take the dog out first. So I put the little burner on like medium for about 10 minutes while I take the dog out. Cause like if I put it on high, the water will evaporate by the time I come back in. Mm-hmm. But if I don't heat it up at all, now I got to start the whole process from scratch. And so we want to get them to a 4 or 5 before the launch even starts. And this free guide will show you how to do that.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So that's mattmcwilliams.com/Bob for buying online businesses. So Bob, that's an easy way to remember it. And then P, right? So There'll be a link in the show notes as well, guys. Again, Matt, thank you so much for coming on. Now, everybody else, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you subscribing, listening. And what I want you to do is I want you to think of 2 to 3 people who own content websites or want to own a content website or build a content website. I want you to share this episode with them because Matt and I talked about a strategy here that's so valuable that I see almost nobody in this space doing. And if you can come out and do this, I'm sure it's going to be another great revenue earner for you and your business and your friends that you send this episode to. So please do that for them. And it's going to help me grow the Bob podcast, of course, but mainly give them some value. Now, I want to say again, thanks everybody for listening. And that's it. I'll speak to you on the next episode. Bye.